Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, managing editor of Canada's podcast, Taking Care of Business today with Nick Palucci, who is senior director, home equity finance, acquisition, and distribution for RBC. Thanks for joining us today, Nick.
Thanks so much for having me, Mario. I'm happy to be on.
All right, let's talk a little bit about a recent RBC poll on home ownership. And one of the interesting things, it's probably the most interesting thing I found out of all that, was that despite the challenges out there economically, like whether it's inflation or whether it's affordability, Canadians still want to buy and are confident in buying a home. How is that possible? Why is that still happening? Excuse me.
Yeah, no, and for sure, thanks for the question, Mario. We're definitely seeing that in the respondents in the poll, where 60% of Canadians are telling us that buying a home, real estate, is still a very good investment. In fact, with our newcomer clients, so new to Canada, it's about 73%. So that much higher. So again, just reiterating that real estate's a really good investment opportunity, or a good thing to do. We have, with our regular respondents, our overall respondents, about 29% are still planning to, like what you were saying, like are still planning to buy in the next 2 years. With our newcomer clients, it's as high as 65% over the next couple of years. So again, just there's definitely opportunity that they're seeing in real estate. I think if I could take it one step further, but we're also seeing in the respondents affordability concerns, inflation concerns,
Yeah.
impacting their overall ability to save and buy a home. So that's definitely absolutely coming through in what they're saying. But like purely from a real estate transaction and a good idea to do for their own future, still really strong results and perception value in buying real estate.
Let's talk a little bit about the newcomers. Why is
Yeah.
that so high?
Yeah, I think we definitely see from the respondents that newcomers value home ownership a lot. It seems like the dream of coming to Canada is about buying real estate, and so we definitely see that throughout the respondents that we see in the poll. I think where we see one interesting fact that we see on the newcomer side is we definitely have this notion of buying homes jointly with family members, and we've seen that for the past couple of years, a little bit more so this year because of the inflation and concerns around affordability. So about 29% of all respondents are saying, they'd like to buy a home, but they're going to likely do it with a family member. Whereas for newcomers, it's as high as 41%. So it seems to be something that really gels the family together to aggregate those assets to help from a cash flow and payment perspective to buy with family members and enjoy and buy properties together. And we're definitely seeing it from the survey results around this value of buying a home is stronger for our newcomers, and just a way of building their wealth when they first arrive in Canada. So yeah, definitely a strong value from our newcomers.
So, you mentioned the co-ownership, or if you want to call it that.
Mhm.
Is that the main strategy that a lot of people are using to get into home ownership? That say if they couldn't do it by themselves, or are there other ways that they're kind of getting in despite the economic challenges?
Yeah, I think like from respondents as a whole, while we're seeing the impact on inflation and 51% saying that inflation affordability is impacting their ability to save, saving is still the number one way that Canadians, whether you're a newcomer or you've been here for a long time, the way that they're getting into the real estate market. So saving is still number one. The other notion that we're seeing, and it's been around for a while, we call it the bank of mom and dad. People have
Yep.
other, names for it, but where they're getting help from family members. So not necessarily buying the property together, but helping them with a down payment and things. And so that's definitely strong with all of our respondents, and also for our newcomers where they'll get help. And then thirdly, being this co-ownership model where they're buying with other family members is sort of the third, probably most popular way of getting it. Like I said, from a newcomer perspective, is as high as 41% on the co-ownership, so really high for them. But yeah, those are mostly the three ways that the Canadians are getting into the real estate market.
Now, when you look at like the results, I'm just curious, did the poll look at it at a regional basis as well? Because what I'm thinking about is that places like Toronto and Vancouver are obviously a much more difficult to get into home ownership, right?
Yeah, definitely. We have some regional nuances across all of it. So really, from the ability, like the affordability, the inflation.
Yeah.
Interestingly, we're seeing more of that feedback in the prairies versus other parts of the country.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, also from a price like our homes. One of the questions we asked is, are homes overpriced in their mind? And so, yeah, definitely we see that in the GTA and the Vancouver, like from the mindset of customers. What's really interesting too, though, from the poll is, clients with the change in rates or the expected lowering of rates, they feel there's a small window of time. So it's 56% of newcomers, as an example, feel that there's a small window of time to actually get into the real estate market before prices start to go back up again.
Yeah.
And with the general respondents, it's a little bit lower than the 56%, but still there's strong sentiment of, things will eventually start to turn around again. Where we've seen price compression in some parts of the country, well, many parts, and sustained in some parts now. That's going to start to turn around. And so the sentiment on this 56% believe that there's a short window. So the time is to, act now if you want to get into the real estate market.
All right. Thank you very much, Nick, for joining us today.
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me on.
All right, that was Nick Palucci, who is Senior Director, Home Equity Finance Acquisition and Distribution with RBC. I'm Mario Toneguzzi, Managing Editor of Canada's podcast, Taking Care of Business Today. Thanks for joining us.